Imagine a world without cars. No highways, no traffic, no Mercedes-Benz. A world where horses ruled the streets and machines were just fantasy. But two brilliant minds, separated by miles but united by vision, would change that forever. This is the story of how Karl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler transformed the world of transportation, creating not just the oldest car company on earth, but disrupting an entire industry forever. This is the birth of Mercedes-Benz. Our story begins in 19th century Germany, a time of steam engines, gas lamps, and horse-drawn carriages. It was a time when cities were expanding, industries were growing, and innovation was beginning to replace tradition. Karl Benz, born in 1844 in Karlsruhe, was fascinated by mechanics from a young age. His father, a railway driver, died when Karl was just 2 years old, but his mother supported his education with unwavering determination. Benz graduated as a mechanical engineer at only 19, an extraordinary achievement for his time. He dreamed of building a horseless carriage, a machine powered not by horses, but by an internal engine, an idea that sounded like science fiction to most people back then. Meanwhile, in Schorndorf, Gottlieb Daimler was born a decade earlier, in 1834. Daimler was more than just a curious mind. He was a relentless innovator. After studying mechanical engineering, he worked in France and England, studying the latest industrial technologies. Daimler became obsessed with creating compact, fast-running internal combustion engines that could one day power a wide variety of machines, boats, bicycles, airships, and carriages. These two men, Benz and Daimler, never met in person, yet their dreams were destined to converge. In 1885, after years of trial and error, Karl Benz achieved a groundbreaking milestone. He built the Benz patent motor wagon. With a single-cylinder, four-stroke engine, 3 wheels, and a rudimentary steering system, this was not just a machine, it was a revolution. The top speed? Around 10 miles per hour. It might seem slow today, but it was faster than any carriage had ever gone without a horse. However, the world was skeptical. Investors were doubtful. Engineers were dismissive. And Benz himself was not a showman. But behind every great man, there's often an even greater woman. Bertha Benz, Karl's wife, decided it was time to prove the invention worked. One early morning in August 1888, without informing her husband, Bertha took the motor wagon on a 66-mile journey to her mother's house in Pforzheim with her 2 sons. Along the way, she solved mechanical issues on her own, bought fuel, Ligroin, from a pharmacy, cleaned carburetors, and even repaired a broken chain using a blacksmith's help. Her historic trip proved that the automobile was ready for real-world use. Today, her route is celebrated as the Bertha Benz Memorial Route. At the same time, in Cannstatt, Daimler and his gifted partner, Wilhelm Maybach, had developed their own internal combustion engine, a lightweight, high-speed marvel. In 1885, they built a wooden 2-wheeled vehicle called the Reitwagen, often called the first motorcycle. Then in 1886, they attached their engine to a carriage, successfully creating their version of an automobile. While Benz was focused on building an integrated car, Daimler and Maybach focused on the engine, one that could be installed in anything. Their approaches were different, but their goals were the same, a self-propelled future. In 1883, Benz officially founded Benz & Cie to develop and market his inventions. Daimler and Maybach followed in 1890, launching Daimler Motorengesellschaft DMG. Both companies were pioneering, but their philosophies differed. Benz aimed to perfect the automobile as a complete product. His cars were elegant but expensive, built for upper-class clientele. However, financial pressure mounted, and outside investors began interfering in the company's direction. Benz, despite being the founder, was gradually sidelined. DMG took a more scalable approach. Their engines were installed in cars, ships, trams, and even airships. Daimler and Maybach licensed their engines to foreign manufacturers, expanding globally. Daimler's health declined, and he passed away in 1900, but Maybach carried on. It was under Maybach that DMG launched one of its most iconic vehicles. The name Mercedes didn't originate in a lab. It came from a young girl. Emil Jelinek, a wealthy Austrian businessman and car racing fanatic, demanded a custom-built, high-performance car from DMG. His only condition? It had to be named after his daughter, Mercedes. The result was the 1901 Mercedes 35 horsepower. It wasn't just fast, it was a masterpiece. With a lightweight frame, low center of gravity, and powerful engine, it outperformed every car on the racing circuits. It stunned the automotive world and marked a turning point in car design. For the first time, a car looked and behaved like what we consider a modern automobile. The Mercedes brand exploded in popularity. DMG began branding all their vehicles under the name, and by the early 1900s, Mercedes had become synonymous with engineering excellence and elite motoring. Meanwhile, Benz and CA was struggling to keep up. Despite having the historical advantage of being first, they lacked the racing pedigree and modern image that Mercedes now commanded. Then came World War I, which severely impacted both companies. Following the war, Germany faced economic collapse. Raw materials were scarce, demand was low, and inflation was rampant. Both Benz and CA and DMG realized they had to adapt or die. In 1926, after years of discussion, they agreed to merge. The result was Mercedes-Benz. The merger combined Benz's legacy of invention with DMG's reputation for performance. The new company adopted the three-pointed star, symbolizing domination over land, sea, and air, as its official logo. This iconic emblem remains to this day. Mercedes-Benz quickly set itself apart. The brand became a symbol of German precision, durability, and class. It released legendary models like the Nürburgring 460, the first car with a supercharged engine, and later the 540K, a luxury grand tour with breathtaking design. During World War II, Mercedes produced military vehicles, aircraft engines, and trucks. The post-war years were tough. Much of its infrastructure was destroyed. But by the 1950s, Mercedes-Benz had rebuilt itself from the ashes. In the post-war boom, Mercedes-Benz helped define the automotive landscape. The 300 SL Gullwing, introduced in 1954, was a marvel. One of the first cars with fuel injection and iconic upward opening doors. It wasn't just fast, it was beautiful. Mercedes became the go-to brand for heads of state, celebrities, and royalty. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. Mercedes-Benz didn't just follow trends, it created them. Today, the brand is moving into electric mobility with the EQ lineup, autonomous driving, and AI-assisted driving systems. But the DNA of innovation, planted by Benz and Daimler, still runs through every bolt and battery. Mercedes-Benz is more than just an automaker. It's a legacy. It all began with two men who never met, two minds who dared to challenge centuries of tradition, two inventors who believed the future could roll on wheels. From steam-age dreamers to modern luxury, this is the story of how Daimler and Benz built the world's oldest automaker and changed transportation forever. Their vision didn't just build a brand, it built the road to the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and make sure to follow the channel for more content like this. See you next time.